You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 18th, 2023 meeting of the LaPorte County Board of Zoning Appeals. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening. Here guys is my. I would like to call the April 18th Board of Zoning meeting to order. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Glenn, would you lead us?
Sure.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I had a little mind. Could I get a roll call, please?
Melissa Mons-Mischke.
Here.
April Daly.
Here.
Glenn Minnick.
Here.
Deb Vance.
Here.
Vern Schaefer.
All right.
Not so much.
So we still have a quorum. All right. This evening, there's a change in this agenda. So if you're here for...
Madam President, I'm sorry. So we had a development since we last spoke, and they're trying to get
here.
a member from the school board here to consent. So he's working on it now.
Okay, so ignore what I said about the agenda. And we'll let Vern maybe get a seat here.
Apologies.
It's all right. We were
Good.
glad you still made it on time. I will entertain a motion for the approval of the meeting minutes for the March 21st meeting.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. All right. All right. Petition number 1 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Michael and Samantha Ballack, represented by Andrew Volz of House and House, for 54 feet by 104 feet accessory structure. The structure would be in addition to the 2 accessory structures currently on the property and located on the northwest corner of the property. It's located at 2666 North Kuchar Drive, LaPorte Center Township, zoned R1B.
Most adequate.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President. If I may approach.
Please.
Thank you.
Andrew, will you make sure your mic's on when you get back there? Will you make sure the mic's turned on when you... Thank you.
When did we do that? I believe they didn't publish.
Okay.
I believe there was a publishment.
What, this one?
I think so.
Once again, good evening, members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, Madam President, Council, Commissioner Poland, Ashley. We're here on a petition for variance of developmental standards for my clients Michael V. and Samantha K. Balich, with an area that's commonly known as 2701 North Kuchar Drive, but also 2666 North Kuchar Drive. There's a little bit of misidentification on both Beacon and on the county's website with regards to what the physical address of this property is. I'll direct you to the second to last page of the packet that I just handed you, which I believe you already had as well. This property is located just off of Kuchar Drive. There are 2 pre-existing structures that were there when my client purchased this property, and his proposal is to construct a 54-foot by 104-foot accessory structure, i.e. a pole barn, and that would be in addition to the 2 structures that are already on the property. Adjacent landowners have all been notified. We had originally been before this board back in March, and now we're here now again in April. We believe that specifically pursuant to the terms of the JZO, the approval would not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community, that the use and the value of the area adjacent to the property involved will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, and the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance would result in practical difficulties in use of the property. The variance shall be necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right similar to that possessed by other properties in the same zoning district. And I would then go back to say that this is zoned R1B, but if you're familiar with the area, it's a little bit kind of strange with regards to some of the adjacent properties. Some of them are zoned ag. One of them zoned, in fact, manufacturing, I believe. And then one of the properties, I believe, to the north and the northwest was actually a former church that's now being used for manufacturing. Notice has gone out to adjacent landowners. Unfortunately, my client is out of town, so he's not able to be here. I have the ability to answer some questions, otherwise to get him on the phone if need be. But we would request that the board would grant this petition for variance of developmental standards and allow the Ballocks to construct this structure on the northwest side of the property. Obviously, respecting any setbacks or anything else like that that's there. I will also include that there was a depiction of what the structure is going to look like from a ground level. And he intends to use this for his own personal use to store his off-road vehicles, boats, water toys, etc., etc. He will not, this is not a commercial operation.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew. Are there any remonstrators this evening for this petition? Okay, if you would come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm speaking.
This is my son Michael, and he's speaking for
Okay.
Joyce O'Keefe, and needs Michael O'Keefe.
Michael, can you just make sure when talking to the mic and repeat both
Yeah.
of your names?
Thank you. My mom, Joyce O'Keefe, lives at 2657 North Kuchar Drive in that in that area. And I have her power of attorney if I need be, but I am speaking on her behalf. I would like to say.
And your name is?
Michael Stephen O'Keefe, if you want to be technical.
And your address?
I have actually the same address, but I also live in Lawton, Michigan. I reside in Lawton, Michigan.
Okay.
My mom lives at 2657 North Kuchar Drive in that subdivision.
All right.
The thing is, for one, we were never, first off, last month, we were never given proper authorization or time on when the first meeting was held. We received it 4 days before the meeting. He didn't even attempt to mail it to 6 days before the meeting. And also, we have not received nothing about this meeting today. And also, he is not using that property for private use. He is renting out the buildings now, because when we left this last month, we ran into the guy that's renting one of the buildings, and he was complaining about the drive, the way the road is condition it's in. It's a private road. It's not maintained. So he is not going to use it for private use. He's going to rent it out.
Okay.
So we object to it, and the residents also, we will have petitions that will say that they object to it too.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you have something additional?
No, I'm with them.
Okay. All right. Are there any other remonstrators, either for or against this petition? Okay, hearing, seeing none. Andrew, if you want to come back up.
Thank you, Madam President. To address the comments made by the remonstrator, they obviously do have notice of this hearing and that they're here today, number one. But then number two, any allegations or assertions that my client or my clients are using this property for commercial use are completely unfounded. There is no evidence that there's a rental agreement.
Okay, he has the podium. Thank you.
There's no evidence that's been introduced with regards to a rental agreement. I understand we're not in a court of law here, but everything that the remonstrator has said is in fact hearsay. With regards to a private road, I don't know exactly what road remonstrator is referring to, because Kuchar Drive is maintained by the county. Sir, we have to maintain a record.
Mike, are you aware if that is part of the county road inventory?
No.
Okay, I think it's possible. No, we're not. If they're not at the podium, we're not. Okay.
This is the only entrance.
Okay. So it's going to be for personal storage, no rental.
None whatsoever. And I was very clear with my client about that, that if there was any indication that there was going to be something for this new structure that was going to be in any way, shape, or form some type of commercial venture, that there was no way this was gonna fly. Because that's completely against the what R1B is. And the reality is there's not a dwelling house or a dwelling structure on the property. There never has been. But he's trying to use this property so that he doesn't have to stack everything where he's at off a Dogwood Drive.
Right.
And get it under cover and get it protected, et cetera, et cetera.
And I just want to be clear, this new structure is going to go in the northwest corner.
As evidenced by the second to last page of the submission, there was an estimated outline of where this structure would wind up being. So you've got that unimproved gravel kind of strip that runs west off of Kuchar towards the northwest corner, and then you've got a line of trees on the northwest corner. That this accessory structure would be between the trees, between the road, and then set back as far as it needs to be from all of the adjacent landowners.
Okay.
And property lines, excuse me.
I would assume it is here on the south.
Assume it here.
Yeah.
Are there any questions from the board? Deb, you got anything? What about you guys? Go ahead.
I guess I don't really have any question except for the fact, like you said, this is not to be used as a commercial building, has to be personal use only, no rental agreements.
And if I may ask counsel for the BZA, is that possible to put that in the variance that it cannot be used as? Then we would.
Yeah, those comments would be part of a
We
motion,
would
and then I can
stipulate
include
that.
that in the findings.
Okay, so your opportunity to speak is when we do remonstrance. So now that we have, everyone's done remonstrating, there's no additional time for comments. Okay, if there's no further questions from the board, I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I move that we accept this proposal on behalf of the owners, but they're with the understanding that this will not be used for anything but personal use. No rental agreements, no commercial activity.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay. Petition number 2 this evening is a petition for special exception for Andre Prats for operation of a used car lot. The property is located at 2005 West, Highway 6, LaPorte, Scipio Township, zoned B2 on 1.6816 acres.
Notice remains adequate.
Thank you. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
My name Andrei Prats, and my home address is 7952 West 900 South Union Mills.
Maybe I have a picture. You guys have that one.
Okay.
Oh.
So you want to run a car lot there at the corner,
Please.
northwest corner. And thank you for providing kind of a picture for us today. How many cars do you think you would have at any given time?
About 20.
20? What kind of price range are we looking for on these cars, just so I have an idea of what type of cars?
About 10, 15,000.
Okay.
And 7 customers.
This is cars for sale, right?
That's right. And these are customer parking here.
What kind of hours of operation are you looking at?
8 to 5. And Saturday 8 to 1.
So Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturday, 8 to 1?
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of I see you have a sign on the drawing. How large of a sign?
You know, actually, I didn't measure that sign. It already exists there, so they're just gonna refinish the one existing sign. I'm not sure. It's about 3 feet by 3. I don't know, 4 by 3.
Picture over there.
Okay. So you're gonna use the existing sign that's there?
Yes.
Last month it was a publication, or you wanted more information last month?
Last month, there was no drawing.
Yeah.
There was,
I think we asked if this sign was to be lit or
I
just,
think that sign lights up, doesn't it?
Yes, that's gonna be with
Okay.
the lights, yes.
So we're gonna say it's lit.
when I counted and I appreciate you sending more detailed information. I count spots for 28 cars and 7 customers in your squares that you've drawn here.
It is enough space for that much what I show, but I mean, I'm not sure if I'm gonna always full with the cars, you know. But 20, maybe 15, that's what we're gonna start with.
And then last month you mentioned that the cars would be running and ready for sale.
Oh, for sure.
We don't have to give them 28 or 20 or whatever.
Also, the question, are you planning on putting a fence around this entire property where the gray line is on your map here? Does that indicate a fence?
Yeah, I'm gonna do eventually fence, but I'm trying to probably pave it first, make it remodel the office and put some lights around. Yeah, I'm gonna do the fence around.
Well, obviously, the lot to the north of the buildings would have to have, it's grass right now. It'd have to be paved or stoned, right?
Yes, it's a grass. Where it says grass is still gonna be a grass, so on the more to the front to the road.
Actually, as this map occurs, north is to the side here on this map, I believe. Can you come up here for a minute? I want you to
Yes.
clarify this for me.
That's,
This map, this is the north, right? This is State Road 39, and this is 6. Okay, so this is north.
It's gonna be paved and paved on the front.
and then if they're gonna do more,
I assume these are customer parking spots. Okay. Did you guys understand that?
No.
The map is State Road, the top of the map would be State Road 39.
you got it right, that's north.
And or excuse me, the bottom of the map is State Road 39.
No.
And then the other side is 6. So this is the intersection right here. So he mentioned to me that where the cars are parked to the north of the building, which would be along State Road 39, is sod, and he would be paving that, or
Right.
gravel, one or the other.
so here's paving or.
And eventually, where the gray line is around here, that would be a fence with gates. You're showing a gate, so that's why I wondered if there was a fence there.
We're gonna put the fence and gates on both sides. It shows 2 gates on each side, and before we start bringing the cars, because yeah.
If nothing else, for security, I would think. Okay, no, that clarifies my question anyway.
Thank you, Vern. Do we have any remonstrators this evening for this petition? Anybody for or against it? Anybody here remonstrating for petition number 2? Okay. There are no remonstrators coming forward. Additional questions from the board?
No.
If not, then I will entertain a motion.
Yeah.
20's too many cars.
No, it's not to exceed 20, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have the business hours and stuff?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve with the business hours of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 8 to 1 on Saturday, with no more than 20 cars at one time.
Okay, thank you.
What do you guys think?
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, and I want to just clarify that that includes using the existing lighted sign. Do you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Vern, you're good with that in the motion?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Petition number 3 this evening is a petition for variance of use for Nicholas Kralik to operate a sawmill. Is that even close?
Kriselic.
Kralik. Thank you. Property is located at 2401 East, 300 South, LaPorte, Pleasant Township, zoned ag on 38 acres.
Notice adequate.
Thank you. I hope that's not the first time it's been.
No,
Okay,
all
good.
the time.
I apologize. So if you would state your name and address for the record.
Nicholas Kraselic, 2401 East, 300 South, LaPorte, Indiana.
Yes, my name is Andrew Ward, 3655 North, 525 West.
This is my business partner.
Okay. And you guys want to run a sawmill.
Yes.
All right, tell me about the plan for this.
Well, it's going to be a weekend, well, right now it's just a hobby, but we want to turn it into like a weekend gig where we mill lumber and then market it online, primarily Facebook, Etsy, eBay, places like that.
So you're not going to actually have people coming and browsing, they would just come for pickup.
Only by appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is on apparently it's an existing farmstead and
Yes.
feedlot or something like that.
Yes.
Is there concrete?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. What kind of, so only on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday by appointment only? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? What kind of hours would you?
Well, the hours for pickup would primarily just be by appointment. So whenever the customer would be available.
Okay,
like
all the time.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we both have day jobs,
Yeah,
right?
we both work
it-
full time. So it'd be in the evenings.
Evenings and then on the
Weekends would be
weekend.
preferable for us. but-
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Do we have any remonstrators for this petition tonight? Anybody for or against it? Any remonstrators? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Are there questions from the board?
There's currently no residents on this property?
Not on that parcel, no.
Okay, but there's a parcel right
Yes, that's my
directly south, that's a home there.
Yes, I live there.
Okay, so you have
You don't
pretty
mind?
close access to your.
Yes. Yes.
The entrance for this sawmill comes in from where?
300 South.
Okay,
Yeah.
There's a gravel laneway.
okay.
I think this one right here. Okay, if there are no further questions from the board, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the petition for a variance to operate a sawmill for use.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. How are we doing on petition number 4? Move it to the
We're
end.
trying to get a member of the school board here to consent. If somebody consents, then we're fine. So I'd say we skip 4 and keep
Go
going.
down, yeah, we'll put them at the end. Petition number 5 is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Ryan Wittenberg and Catherine O'Leary for construction of a pole barn for personal use in front of the home with a front setback of 23 feet.
Notice adequate.
Thank you. If you would please state your name and address for the record.
Ryan Lee Wittenberg, 6231 West 250 North, LaPorte, Indiana, 46350.
Catherine O'Leary, 6231 West 250 North, LaPorte, Indiana.
Okay. Tell me what's unique about this property that's got your structure located.
Well, the only flat part of my property is in front of my house.
Okay.
The rest of it just drops off, slopes.
And that's where your wetlands are at as well?
Yeah,
it's in the-
everything slopes and just drains into the backyard. I got a new septic drain field that was put in the back that pretty much got rid of any chance of even putting anything in that area. That was my only bet, and
Really?
Oh, we've talked to you before.
Not really.
Okay.
You remember they were just here.
Yeah. That's what I said. We've,
This lot is huge.
right, but he says it slopes down and it's wet.
It slopes down, but then it gets flat.
go ahead and ask some questions, Glenn.
There's a picture somewhere.
I don't, this one,
Well, he put one little picture in,
this one, I think.
You approach.
right here.
Yeah.
This is his new one.
Yeah.
Vern, if you have them, make sure you guys are both in the mic.
Okay. So everybody can hear our conversation.
There you go.
You're on your map here. This is where you're proposing the building?
Right.
And you were here previously in February.
Yeah, it was over here and closer to the road by 10 feet.
Okay. But you've moved it closer to your home.
Moved it as close to my house as I could get. My well cap is right here, 10 feet from the back edge of this. I made a new sheet for us today.
And this is just for storage you're talking about?
Yeah, it's just
correct?
for storage. I got a camper. I got several motorcycles, jet skis. I kind of want to get them out of the weather.
And the size of the building is what?
It's a 36 by 40.
Okay. Well, that was just a point of clarification, so.
It's going on.
Thank you.
I drove out there today. It's not.
It's a little more detailed map here he gave me. If you'd like to look, he's talking here.
While we're still reviewing the plans, are there any remonstrators tonight for this petition? If you guys would have a seat, we'll hear from the remonstrators.
I just think it's ridiculous to put that in front of us.
Yeah.
If you would state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Linda Switt, 2732 North, Jonkin Park Road, LaPorte, Indiana, 46350.
Okay.
And I own the 2 acres next to his property where the large structure would be. And I also own 100 acres directly across.
Okay.
That I have been working with the DNR and the USDA and making it a habitat for wildlife. And I'm very concerned about this large building and the noise and the dirt and the site next to the 2 acres particularly. And I've also driven around the area and I can't find any place that has a barn in front of their house.
Similar, correct. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have additional comments?
My name's Mark Schiebel. I'm a neighbor, 6143 West 250 North. If you're familiar with that area from 500 West to Gold Ring, it's not very flat. Ryan's got one spot there that's real convenient for him. I've seen other outbuildings that are in front, but I was a carpenter in LaPorte County for 25 years. I know about obstacles, retaining, grading, the whole 9 yards, trying to septics, utilities, you name it. But nowhere along that road is any outbuilding or a home that's close to 20 feet from the road. But that's about all I have.
Thank you. I know there's a slight bend there as well. It was kind of one of my concerns as far as a building that close to the road, seeing around it from a safety perspective. Other questions from the board? Get in there.
I mean, I don't have any questions. We denied this. It hasn't moved. He's not really changed the site. I know that there's some fall away on the lot, but it's a huge lot. And there's plenty of room in the back for a building.
I'm sorry, I've never done this before. I'm a neighbor as well. I just came in last minute.
Oh, I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's not
State
your
your-
fault. It's my
your
name
name
is
and-
Holly Welsh and my address is 6053 West 250 North. Our property backs up to the back portion of their property and it is a big lot. It's 4 acres. And when it was being purchased by them, we had gone to look at it as well. And even though it is large in the back, the terrain is not really buildable, unfortunately. I know it was just stated that there aren't any barns that were put in front of the homes, but actually our barn was given a variance to be built in front of our home. And we were not given any trouble in doing that. That property, because of where the septic is and because of the terrain in the back, I don't feel like there is any place else for it to go. And also, we do also have DNR that's helping protect our property, and they're utilizing that back property now in a way that the people before hadn't. So they're taking care of it and using it for, you know, like I said, their septic in their backyard. They wouldn't be able to put a barn back there. And the space there, I feel like they've moved it back as far as they can. The home doesn't have a garage. The property next to it is actually encroaching slightly on their property, so a place where a garage could have gone, there's the neighbor's garage is there. So it's unfortunate, but when you purchase acreage in the county, if any of you live in the county, I think one of the reasons you do that is to have a little bit more freedom to be able to build the necessary structures to take care of your property. They're trying to do that, and right now, in my opinion, they have an RV in their front yard. They have other equipment in their front yard, and I would much rather see that in a barn than in the front yard. So to me, having it there, while it is a little frustrating because it is closer to the road, then I know they wouldn't want it to be that close to the road if they had any other choice. I don't think there's another option, and personally, having it in that barn is going to look a heck of a lot better than having everything kind of parked outside. So I would just ask that, you know, you guys gave us a variance when we needed it because we had to put ours, because of the terrain of our property, closer to the road and closer to our neighbor. I feel like they're not asking for anything out of the ordinary, and there are lots of other things nearby on other people's properties, if you drive by there, that are much uglier than a brand new, beautiful barn. So that would be all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Were there any additional remonstrators that I missed? Anyone else sneak in there right at the last minute? Okay. And we'll hear any additional questions from the board. And if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, rebuttal, right?
Yes, you can come forward.
Madam President, with everything being said, I think that the approval of this variance is not injurious to any of the above. Surrounding property values should slightly increase with the improvement to my property. The topography of the property is the reason why I'm here. There's really nowhere else for me to build it. I've got thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment just out in the weather right now. I have no garage here. I need a shelter for my stuff.
This is a hill, but
I just ask that you please grant this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I mean, I was just out there.
Deb has her laptop down there. Do you want to?
Yeah, I know.
Deb, is it okay if Glenn comes down and looks at the screen with you? Yeah, just take it down.
Yeah. So go right back to all the pictures of the property. So it's built on a hill, but then it's flat behind all that. And they're trying to put this garage.
Thank you guys for giving us just a moment here to verify what we're looking at.
I had those pictures. This little lot that the house is on, that they're trying to put the garage on, is on a a lift, but then it all flattens out. What is this? I'd be interested to know what this is. Because I came to here and I saw all this flat grass in here, but I don't know what that is.
Is that the?
I'm guessing a garden.
We would come back up. Do you have a garden
The previous owner
back there? Okay.
it's on a pretty good slope.
Yeah. Okay. And your house does have a walkout in the back.
A walkout.
It's a basement maybe that
Yeah,
walks out.
there's a door in the basement that walks out the back.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see anything else here?
No.
Okay.
Is that a picture of the house?
Mm-hmm.
So if there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
So I motion that we approve the variance for construction of a pole barn for personal use in front of the home.
Good job, Deb. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Aye. So I'm sorry we deny your petition. Thank you. Okay. Good job, ladies. Petition number 6 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for David A. Gonski to add water to a pole barn for a bathroom and bar area located at 9785 North 650 East, New Carlisle, zoned ag on 25.74 acres.
That's adequate.
Can you hear us?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
If you would, state your name and address for the record.
Yep, David Gonski. I live at 1633 North Hudson Avenue in Chicago. And I have the property 9785 North 650 East since about 2017. We have a barn and I want to make it into a kind of a rec area or pool house if we put a pool in for my kids and my family. And hence we want to bring the water to there for the bathroom and sink.
So this is kind of a vacation spot for you?
Yeah, I'd like to get there permanently, but my kids are young, and that's where I am tonight at the school event. But yes, it's a vacation place for us.
There is a residence on this parcel.
Yes,
Who lives-
and we've just obtained a building permit to do a little work there as well.
So is anyone
for
living
us.
there currently?
No, no one is living there.
Okay. All right. Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 6? Anybody for or against the petition? Okay, hearing and seeing no one coming forward. Questions from the board?
You mentioned that are you going to use the existing structure to remodel or are you going to add a pole barn?
No, we have an existing pole barn that we're gonna remodel, upgrade.
And of course, all of this, I assume, is subject to septic permitting and everything else then. Have you obtained those? It's really not our job to give you permits for septic and water, but have you looked into that?
We're not. So I talked to my builder today, or before this meeting, and we're not adding any bedrooms. So he didn't think it was an issue. But for the house, we do plan on expanding our septic. So yes, there. I guess the answer to your question is we'll be seeking that separately.
Okay, so the barn is going to have a separate septic from the house.
No, it'll be combined or
Again, it's not the board's
I
concern.
understand.
Okay.
correct.
I want to keep a record
Making
clean.
it clear.
I would like to know what he's trying to build into. There's two buildings. So the picture we have of the property, there's a wood sided barn and an old steel sided barn. Which one are you planning on remodeling?
Oh, the wood one.
The wood one. Okay.
Yes, it's a beautiful barn.
And this obviously is not a rental venture. This is once again for personal use only. Is that correct?
My wife would never permit it. So It is personal use only.
I would suggest that to the board, if you're inclined to make a motion, put a restriction that it cannot be used as a living space. That is the only reason why they have to come to the board for water, because we had people living all sorts of places before. Okay.
And I have no issue with that. That's not our intention.
Thank you. If there are no further questions from the board, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance for David Gonski to add water to a pole barn for bathroom and bar area with the caveat that people are not going to be allowed to reside in the barn itself.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Petition number 7 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Ryan Vespo for construction of a second accessory structure with a side setback of 2 feet instead of the minimum required 10. Property is located at 133 Grand Avenue, LaPorte, Scipio Township, zoned R1B.
Notice adequate.
Thank you. If you would state your name and address for the record.
Ryan Vespo, 133 Grand Ave, LaPorte.
Brian, what is the need for an additional accessory structure?
Just for personal use. We have a 1-car garage, so I'd probably be parking in there and then have it for storage.
It's number 7.
Please go ahead.
So your property is fenced. Is that fence on the property line?
Yes. The east side of the fence, so the back of the house, that's it's 10 feet away from the actual property line because there's a 10-foot wide utility easement there that was platted in the original subdivision.
Should be here.
On which side?
The east side. It's the back.
The back?
Of the house. Yep.
Okay, this is north. So it'd be this side here. We're just looking at your map here. So
Are you going to take the fence down?
No, the fence would stay in place.
It'd be hard to build.
Are there any remonstrators here this evening, either for or against this petition? Anyone for or against petition number 7?
I just think it's too close to the side. 2 feet.
Tight.
2 feet's too tight. I mean, you can't.
And get a lawnmower through
You can't even build them. I mean, and then all your roof runoff is going to go. Which way is the barn gable?
Yeah, so the back over there, the eaves and everything, the overhangs are actually on the north and south side, so it would still be.
So all the water will run on the neighbor.
No, because there's still 1 foot
after that, after an overhang, the 1 foot overhang.
40 by 48 building is, all the water's gonna fall on 1 foot.
So in other words, that building is gabled from east to west, right? And then
Yes, yep.
and the road, yeah, your water's running right
Get it
down.
on onto the neighbor.
Yeah, so then
On
we
the
planned on
property line.
putting gutters on there too, so the water would run away from, the building. So it wouldn't be right on the property.
I guess I have a question. What is to prevent you from moving it a little bit farther north?
Just the property itself. I have a septic field that, I don't know if it shows it on the paper that you have, but with where it's currently going right now, it puts me at like 12 feet away from it. And I gotta have 10 feet from what the county had told me. So if I moved any closer, I'm getting too close to that, and then I would have to then shorten up the size of the building. And we wanted to eventually later down the road, possibly add on to the house. So we would probably end up having to get a new septic field also, which, then kind of makes it a little harder to get everything fit in there with how the property is.
I just think it infringes on the neighbor being only 2 feet from it and not having a plan for the water on the roof.
I think it's definitely a consideration. We want everyone to keep their rainwater on their property.
Right. And that's why we plan on putting gutters, so that way it wouldn't just go straight onto their property.
Well, gutters have downspouts.
Right.
They have
Yeah.
to be spouted. There's not much.
To
There's
the
not
other-
much to
the north.
you're 10 foot from one side and the other side's on your property, but you're 2 feet from the neighbor.
And we don't know where their septic is. Because it's their ground.
And we don't care. Yeah, have you considered maybe making the barn slightly smaller? So that you could move it a little north?
We thought about it, but just because we plan on staying there, we thought maybe having a camper later down the road, and that way it could be stored in there also. So we're trying to think of future use also.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep it as tight to there as we can.
What about you guys? Any questions?
We were looking into also doing like a rainwater collection down the future. So I mean that's also a possibility later on too, where it would be collected in a a bin and then use that for gardening or something. But we haven't looked into those.
With a structure that size, you're going to definitely more than one bin. Okay, well, there are no remonstrators, so if there are no further questions from us, I'll entertain a motion.
I'm going to make a motion that the petition for variance of developmental standards for Ryan Vespo not be granted. 2 feet is just not enough setback, side setback.
So I have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. So everyone's clear. The motion is to deny the petition. All those in favor of denying signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign.
Sorry.
We need votes either way.
I'm sorry.
Everybody
Want us to
votes.
you want me to do a roll call?
No, I just didn't sure anybody vote to.
I think we all voted no. In favor of.
I didn't have my thing on, I just was looking this way.
Okay, well, I didn't hear you two. That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
So we're clear. It was a full denial. Okay.
yes.
Good luck. Okay, let's return to petition number 4, which is a petition for variance of developmental standards for George William and Michelle Wilmson for construction of an addition to a non-conforming structure, and addition will have a 38-foot setback from wetlands instead of 50 feet and a 45-foot waterway setback instead of 50 at 150 Dogwood Drive, LaPorte, Center Township, R1B.
Notice is almost good. What I mean by that, when he filed his petition, the real estate office could not find the owner. So I got online and found it was the school corporation. And this enterprising gentleman found someone from the school corporation who are present. So that notice provision is satisfied.
All right, thank you. So if you would state your names and address for the record. Yep.
Jennifer Farley, 4788 East, 200 South, LaPorte, Indiana.
Jennifer,
46350.
are you with the school?
I am.
Okay.
I'm with the school board.
All right. And you?
George Wilmson, 150 Dogwood Drive, LaPorte, Indiana.
All right, George, what makes this property unique that we have to have this non-conforming structure?
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of LaPorte. My wife and I raised our 3 children in LaPorte. We lived right across the street from Critchfield School, and we'd always walk our dogs on the lake and around. And there was this one house, 150 Dogwood, and my wife always said she's always wanted to live on the lake. And we always walked past this house, and she said, if this house ever goes for sale, I'd really love to try to buy it. And I said, well, I don't think that's ever going to happen, so on and so forth. Lo and behold, the last Thursday I got home from school, and she said, "Get your in July 2021." She said, "Get your stuff together. We're going to go see a house." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, that house on the lake we always walk past." Well, within a week, we had bought that house and sold our house and had to get rid of 26 years worth of stuff out of our house because we had to downsize a bit. To live in this house, it's a 2-story structure, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm 55 years old. We'd like to live here the rest of our life. And to be able to do this, we need to have a first floor bedroom and bathroom. The addition that we're asking, I know it's closer than 50 feet from the lake and the wetland. But this addition only goes 4 foot past our existing house. And it's actually 2 feet less than what the deck that we took off in that part would be. So that's what makes it really special. Like I said, we would love to live here for the rest of our life and go from there. I appreciate you considering this variance.
Jennifer, you can probably have a seat unless are you here in favor of it or against it? Do you have any
On
thoughts?
behalf of the board, on behalf of the corporation, we give consent.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other remonstrators for or against this petition?
I take issue with the 55-year-old comment.
I'm afraid I do too. And you can be in favor of your husband's petition if you'd like. Yes, yes.
It's her petition too.
She's not on the petition.
Yes, she is, Michelle.
All right. All right, so there are no remonstrators coming forward. What questions do we have from the board? Vern?
No, I don't have any.
Okay.
I don't. My only comment is, I always am against an awful lot of
French.
these,
Mhm.
but it's always the side setbacks, the back
I agree.
setback. I mean, just like we said on the last one, when you're going to put all your water in your neighbor, it's one thing, but all this water goes in the lake. It doesn't matter. It's poor soil, and it doesn't. I walk to the property. It doesn't block anybody's views whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think the deck size really normally I'm not for these things either, so.
But it's not uncommon for them
It's the
to
same,
encroach on the lake more
Right.
than. It's just the side setbacks. There's so many beautiful. You walk around there, and that's what bothers me. So many places on the island, people walk, they drive, and you can't even see the lake anymore, and that drives me crazy. But this doesn't do that, so I'm good with it.
So if there are no other questions from the board, I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to grant the petition of variance of developmental standards for George, William, and Michelle Wilmson for the construction of an addition on their home.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Good luck.
Build on.
She's so happy.
We made her happy.
So, mark one down. Mike, is there any additional business in front of the board this evening?
Nothing further, Madam President.
Attorney BG? Attorney BG, do we have any business from you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second? I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good evening.
Good job.
Thank you, guys.